Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here with your all stuff, no fluff news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about Atari 7800 emulation with Test7800, and Test7800 just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 0.7.3 is the latest and greatest update. And I would argue this is a pretty big release for this emulator. I mean, they've implemented support for pedals and trackball, automatic overscan detection, implemented high score cartridge, save key, play in full screen, and even more. Now, it is worth pointing out, and true to its name here, Test7800 is an experimental emulator for the Atari 7800. It's not complete and is missing some important features. It is available for Mac, Windows, and Linux, and I would say is improving in leaps and bounds. And speaking about experimental stuff with an emphasis on experimental, next up here we're talking about custom drivers for the Snapdragon 8 Elite CPU. I think there's going to be a lot of people excited about this one, but it is worth pointing out. It's still super early on, and this is really early stuff. So heading on over to Kimchi's Adreno Tools drivers GitHub, and I can see the latest release here is version 26.0.0 revision 8. Plus Super Beta 8XX support. So scrolling down, they say here, the A8XX support included is very beta and hacky. That again is worth pointing out. Also, only A830, that's the version of the GPU, works at the moment. Use at your own risk. Now, in terms of overall performance, I wouldn't put a whole lot of faith in these just yet. I don't think this is going to be a magic bullet per se to majorly increase performance. And that's mostly because these are just so new. They've got a base now to make things even better, which is amazing and very exciting. But at the same time, I wouldn't really expect these to outperform stock drivers just yet. I could be wrong, but at the same time here, I mean, give these things time, let them cook, and we'll see what happens in the future. And if you are interested and wanted to learn more about this stuff, like everything we talk about, links are within the GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. And continuing to talk about experimental stuff, and arguably a lot of stuff people will be excited about. Next up here, we're talking about Windows emulation on Android with GameNative. And I would argue people with dual screen handhelds may be really excited about this one. So Sapphire is at it again, and look at this headline. GameNative dual screen test, virtual keyboard and touchpad. So up on Sapphire Layer's Patreon, they say they're sharing a test build of GameNative focused on experimenting with dual screen input. This version introduces an experimental virtual keyboard and touchpad designed specifically for dual screen Android devices. The main goal right now is to test usability, input behavior, and stability before merging these changes into the main GameNative branch. So at this point in time, it's just testing. However, if things go well, GameNative will be updated as a whole with this stuff. Now, although this was posted on Patreon, it's worth noting that Sapphire did not lock this behind a paywall. And taking a look here, there's a virtual keyboard, virtual touchpad, hybrid mode for virtual keyboard and virtual touchpad, and even more. And continuing to talk about experimental stuff, next up we're talking about Xbox 360 emulation and Xenia Dashboard. For those who may not be aware, Xenia Dashboard is an advanced feature-rich front-end for the Xenia Xbox 360 emulator. It's designed to provide a nostalgic, console-grade experience on modern PCs. They say this dashboard bridges the gap between raw emulation and a polished media library. It is worth pointing out, although this is up on GitHub, it's not open source. So at the time of filming, version 1.0.0.0 is the latest and greatest update. It's the first update. They say this is the first release of the Xenia Dashboard Panel, Windows and Linux edition. If you are interested in this one and wanted to learn more about it, again, you know where the links are. And continuing to talk about experimental stuff, but in a bit of a different light. Next up here, we're talking about the Elder Scrolls Online, and it seems that they're making a very interesting, possibly experimental and possibly controversial decision. They're introducing battle passes to Elder Scrolls Online. So they've titled this announcement Seasons of Change, and they're introducing seasons as well. Each season is 3 months long, and the first season, Season 0, is Dawn and Dusk. And I guess the battle passes that are being introduced are purely cosmetic. Now, to be honest with you, I was really curious to see the overall reactions on this one, and it does seem that things are really mixed. Some people just hate ESO in general, and some people who like ESO are not happy with these changes, and some people just flat out don't care. Some people like them. Anyways, taking a look on Reddit MMORPG, and this person says, I'll take Signs and MMO is on life support for $500, Alex. This person here says, the amount of greed is bonkers. And this person here says, sounds like you still need ESO Plus for crafting. Every content in the game is now free. And this person says, what am I missing? This sounds great. The only paid edition is a premium battle pass. Everything else is free. Are we hating just to hate here? Let me know your thoughts. After reading those comments, I was kind of curious to see how the game was doing, especially with that comment saying the game was on life support and receiving a bunch of upvotes. So taking a look on Steam chart here, and at the time of filming, there's just over 9,000 people playing the game, with a 24-hour peak of 13,000. And taking a look at the all-time chart here, and you can kind of see this game is on the downturn, which may be the reason why they're introducing the Battle Pass and maybe trying to extend the life of this game. Now, this game has been out for about 12 years overall, or going on 12 years, and it would be natural that this game would lose momentum over time. I mean, even taking a look here, I think it makes sense that they're introducing this change to try to maybe breathe more life into the game and ultimately continue to profit off of it, maybe generate some more interest. Let me know your thoughts on that. And continuing to talk about breathing new life into things, except maybe just breathing life into things in general. Next up here, we're talking about Splitgate Arena Reloaded. Now, this game has been in the media recently due to its player count and a response to its player count. So taking a look at this game up on SteamDB here, and right now at the time of filming, it's only got 440 people playing the game with a 24-hour peak of just 1,058. You can see when this game launched, it was popular-ish. I mean, well, 25,000 is quite a bit. And then it just fell off a cliff and just hasn't seemed to continue on with momentum. Now, heading on over to the Splitgate Arena Reloaded Steam page and taking a look here, it's got a mostly positive recent review score with a mixed overall review score. And that's a little higher than I would have expected based on the low play count here, especially considering the game is free to play. Now, the development team for this game has released a statement. They were paying attention to social media, and their statement here, I would say, has been met with mixed reaction. And I am curious to hear your sentiment on it, so let me know in the comments below here. So here's what they're saying. Steam charts don't measure fun. They show one number on one platform at one given moment. They don't show the full picture of what it feels like to actually play, and they definitely don't capture the community that's actively helping shape what Arena Reloaded is becoming, including upcoming content like Arena Royale. Over the past 6 months, we rebuilt Splitgate from the ground up because we believe in the game, our team, and our community. The 1047 team remains committed to delivering the best version of Splitgate possible. Now, I don't know about you, but I've got a bit of a mixed reaction regarding this statement. I mean, first and foremost, yes, they're right. The numbers do not convey intangibles like feelings and emotions and stuff. However, and the big however here, the numbers don't lie about the overall popularity of the game, and I would say under 500 players is not very good for a game like this, especially considering it's free. So I think this statement doesn't really address the low player count, but at the same time, I mean, what can they really do about that in terms of addressing it? All they can say here is the game is fun to play, please try it, and that's really about it. Next up here, we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, in a previous video, we talked about the recent rumor that the GTA 6 team was confident they were going to hit that November release date. And now it seems that things are maybe the other way. Now, unfortunately, these are just rumors and speculations and opinions. But listen to this headline up on Insider Gaming. GTA 6 might not be content complete. Hard to say if it will be delayed. So based on what I'm seeing here and based on what's being reported, this comes from Jason Schreier, who is a well-known industry insider. And he says, the last I heard, it was still not content complete. That is to say, people were still finishing things up, still finalizing levels and missions and seeing what is going to make it into the game. I'm not at all surprised about that. I mean, if you pay attention to game development, there's usually stuff that people debate on whether or not they can make it into the game, whether or not it's going to make the final cut of the game, stuff that gets removed from the game. I mean, none of this is new. And I would argue a lot of games release with a lot of stuff not even being finalized in the first place. I'm not concerned for GTA 6, but I would be if this was being reported in like September. We'll have to wait and see on this one. It's still way too far away, but let me know your thoughts. And speaking about stuff releasing, next up here we're talking about PlayStation and some very interesting new colors for the PS5. Ones that I kind of like. So these are new controllers and shells for the PS5. There's Techno Red, which is a nice neon red and black. Remix Green, a nice neonish green and black. As well as Rhythm Blue. I think I like the Rhythm Blue one the best. Let me know your thoughts about all of these in the comments below, but they're not necessarily going to be the cheapest. These are limited edition stuff. So this is called the Hyperpop Collection, and it is launching on March 12th, 2026, with pre-orders opening up on January 16th. I'm wondering here if this will just be scalped left, right, and center. We're going to have to wait and see on that. The controllers start at $84.99, and the PS5 covers start at a whopping $74.99. Let me know your thoughts about these in the comments below. Realistically here, I do think the blue one looks super sharp. Really sharp, but at the same time, I mean, the standard PS5 I think looks absolutely fine. And speaking about consoles, next up we're talking about the 3DS. Now, we've talked about the 3DS very recently with prices seemingly on the rise for this console. Anyways here, there's a very interesting article up on timeextension.com, and it's titled, "Beyond Incredibly Dumb, the Internet Doesn't Like People Stealing Upgraded 3DS Consoles." I don't really like it either. I think it is it's a very weird practice, but some people seem to really like graded stuff. And a sealed console with a battery in it. I don't know. Feel free to check out this article for more information on the matter. I kind of agree with Shane. I don't hate, but I do shake my head just for this specific reason. Shane says, "I hate when people get tricked into doing stupid stuff like this. Never ever use a video game grading company to seal new consoles that include batteries. You're basically locking a battery inside a sealed plastic coffin that will either expand, leak, or explode. Beyond incredibly dumb." I mean, we've talked about this in previous videos with consoles, especially PSPs, with expanding batteries that end up cracking the shell. The 3DS is not immune from this either, and we've even talked about some 3DSs and 2DSs expanding. So yeah, this is a really weird process. Now, for me personally, I've never really understood the purpose of game grading and console grading. I mean, I can kind of understand it for cards. It's the prime example you're trying to get of the perfect card, which you can see in all of its glory when it's packaged up. But for a video game or a console in a box, I mean, you don't even know what the console looks like in the box. That front could be a huge misprint. It could be missing a manual. The manual could be ripped inside from manufacturing defects. Like, who really knows? It's a very weird practice to me overall. I don't understand it, and I don't think I ever will, but a lot of people seem to really like it. Next up here, if you're a fan of PubG, you might be a fan of PubG Blindspot. Anyways here, PubG Blindspot has just been announced. Early access is starting pretty darn soon. And this is a really interesting concept. So it starts February 5th, and this is a top-down 5v5 shooter. To be honest here, a game like this might be up my alley. Who knows? Maybe it's up yours. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I mean, even if you're not a fan of PUBG, this one might be up your alley. I think this one looks super cool overall. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm very curious to see the overall reception on this. It looks like it would be an awesome mobile game, but it is being released for PC. So the Steam store page is up. It does list February 5th as the early access date, and it's worth pointing out it will be early access, so probably expect bugs and issues. But at the same time here, joking, not joking, I mean, I still play PUBG, and PUBG has been out for a while, and there are still bugs and issues with it. Anyways, take a look at this. Let me know your thoughts, and well, let me know your thoughts if you're a fan of PUBG, and let me know your thoughts if you're not a fan of PUBG. Would this game be of interest? I do like the concept overall. And speaking about bugs and issues, last up here, we're talking about Antivirus Survivors 2003 Professional, which just got a brand new gameplay trailer and will be releasing in 2026, so this year. Take a look at this. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, if you're a Vampire Survivors fan, you're probably going to like this game. If you're a fan of absolute chaos and a little bit of hilarity, you might like this game as well. The Steam store page is up. Unfortunately, I don't know the specific release date. It's either January, February, or March 2026, given the fact that we're a little bit into January. I'm going to guess February or March. Again, don't know the price here, but the gameplay looks like a lot of fun. I'm very curious to see how this game does overall. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and the legendary one, Fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state. And you're just a little loaf today, aren't you?